My name's Mark Gardiner. I'm going to quickly cover 5 major aspects today, which is why I joined, what I do, the thoughts of my involvement, what I've gained through being involved, and my thoughts of any future setting up of citizen scientists from my experience. So that's hopefully what I'll be able to cover today. If I go back to why I joined, I suppose the real nub of it was I've been a member of the Chilterns Society for a number of years, and they produce a magazine that comes out every quarter called the Chiltern, which is an excellent magazine. And I happened to be flicking through last spring, and an article came up called Smarter Water Catchment Project. And it went into various aspects of it, and I thought, well, that sounds quite interesting. That's right up my street. I'd volunteered to an extent with the Chilterns Society, not too much then, because I retired in December 2022. I'd done a science degree, and I was used to working outside. I live locally. With being retired, you suddenly find yourself with a lot more time, and so you are looking for something to do and something to contribute, something to give back to whatever interests you. And so I've been lucky enough to get engaged in that. I'm used to being busy. I like being busy, so thought let's get involved. As to what I do, here we go. A lot of the things that Kate mentioned, I ended up getting involved with. The morph surveys, which hopefully we will do later on today, involving looking at the river bank, the face and the channel. Noses, which is a name which I can never fully understand what it means, but it's basically water sampling for phosphate and nitrate. River pole monitoring, which happens every 2 years, and we'll be due to do that next year. River fly, which my little section, which I do with Anthony, we have, with Mark Anderson, we do that monthly at Latimer Bridge, which is where the little chess and the main chess join together just at Latimer Bridge. So we're looking at it there. The smart rivers we've mentioned before, which is the same sort of process, but the sample gets sent away for analysis by an external laboratory. The SONS, which is the analyzers that Kate was talking about. My involvement there with Anthony, how is that we go along there every month, and our role is to clean it out, because there are various analyzers at the end of the SONS, and they're protected by a sleeve. But on the other hand, it fills in with silt, crayfish, all sorts of gubbins can get in there. And it's obviously has to be cleaned out, which we do every month. Hannah and colleagues does it every month. So we're doing it every two weeks, really. So usually when we get there, it's not actually too bad. So I think that quite clearly we're doing a good job. So that's another aspect. At the same time, I do flow monitoring at 2 sites above Restore Hope Latimer, which is a lovely base around the Latimer region. There's 2 sites just above that, one in Restore Hope Latimer and one in Willow Cottage further up. And we're analysing the flow there of the chess and the little chess that then join into Latimer Bridge, where we do some more flow monitoring there. So hopefully they sort of vaguely add up. You've got little chess, main chess, but there's usually a little bit of variation. So that's an interesting concept which I think people want to understand more of. Recently got involved in some pond surveying, which is not just looking at the river, but more of the catchment, which is very much a crucial bit of looking at any river, is to look at the catchment as well. So that's thing. Also get involved a little bit in various conservation things periodically, like non-native invasive species, which occasionally rear their head, not very often, fortunately, on this stretch, but we've been involved in that. From my part, I also have ended up doing more for the Chilterns Society as a volunteer and trustee, and also on the River Misbourne. There's bits and pieces going on there. But I'm literally just one of a group of people, similar volunteers, but very much led by the professionals. So that's how it works from our perspective. What have I gained? Well, have I gone on too far? Sorry.
I'm really sorry, I can't get it to go backwards.
Okay. Well, don't worry. my thoughts on my involvement is the next one. Really, when I go back to the recruitment process, it was the article that I saw, and I got a reply from Hannah, and saying, "Hello, I'm Hannah. I'm the coordinator," and that sort of introduced me to it. There was a registration process and a newsletter, and then I had a Zoom video where Hannah very kindly discussed what was involved and talked me through various aspects of it. And then this is all happening in March last year, and there was a social down in Rickmansworth where Kate was there and Adrian Porter was describing his river restoration work. And there were various other citizen scientists or potential citizen scientists there. So it was a fun evening, learnt a lot, went forward by having some health and safety and field safety stuff. And then there was a noses sampling day down on Sarrett Bottom, which was on the 22nd of last year, which is where we went off as a group sampling various stretches for analysis for the phosphate and the nitrates. So that was introduction to it. I've been involved in quite a bit of training because of all the things that I mentioned. A lot of training involved, which is I found timely. It's been local and relevant, professional and informative. So I think that's been an excellent thing that I've been able to partake in. There has been some further river fly training, which I had an opportunity of doing as well. So that's great. I find the surveys that we do relevant. We're looking at various aspects, like species, habitats, water quality and quantity. So in the species, you've got non-natives, you've got river fly and smart rivers, you've got vole monitoring. There's also newts in ponds, which I haven't been involved with, but other citizen scientists have been involved in that. So, and then you've got your habitats, which is the morph surveys, looking at the bank, the face and the channel, and pond surveys. So that's looking at habitats, water quality, that's the sondes and the nose aspect, and water quantity flow meters. So covering a lot of the things that Kate mentioned in that diagram. We do get feedback of the results and analysis. There's newsletters which come through monthly. There's various meetings where they're presented. And there's a portal, an online portal, where there's various aspects like a dashboard of activities. You can enter results there, so I can enter my results for various things like the river fly direct onto the portal. There's two. We have a local recording data opportunity and then also more of a national one. So, and there's discussion and news events as well. What have I gained? I've learnt a lot. I've learned a hell of a lot, really. I've been involved in a team with like-minded people. There is a community that's developing. There's a community of the river. There's a community of people. Volunteers, staff. I mean, I should thank them now. Everybody's here, so it's a marvellous opportunity for me to thank you all, you guys, for making it fun. And there's other groups as well, like the River Chess Association, the Chilterns Society, the Misbourne. There's a whole community of people in the area interested about the care of the river and the catchment. So that's been fun. There's been an enjoyable atmosphere in doing it. I'm finding it a bit addictive. My wife's getting more and more concerned about everything, but there's events involved. There's discussion groups. I mean, it's been good fun. I do like being on the river. I think we all do, don't we? Or either in or on, beside. There's always something about a river that's captivating. I feel I'm contributing something, a small little bit, in the whole workings of what's going on, which is great. And even things like today, being involved in this has been good. And there've been other things. There was a film crew who came down who wanted to look at the citizen scientist aspects and other groups that I've been involved with. So if I can do this properly, yeah. Setting up a citizen science project. I mean, this is only from my small experience. I think this personnel, I put Clone Hannah, they've been brilliant. They've really made all the difference. So if you can do that, then that would help. But I'm sure, looking at people who are professional and friendly to run the project, I think there has to be purpose in the project that people understand. We're dedicating quite a lot of time as volunteers, and if the project has an understandable purpose. I think that's great. I think you definitely need resources. You do need staffing. I think that maybe there are some groups could run just by volunteers once it's deeply embedded, but I do think having a professional running it and collating it all is essential. You've got to dedicate to training and equipment. So that's I think creating a community, if you can. I think that it certainly has happened in this project where there is a community where we've got to know people, that I think needs to happen. I think mentioned before by Kate, using the inherent skills within the group. It's surprising. We all come from different walks of life, from different experiences. I mean, for instance, Anthony Howe, I know, looked at the portal aspect of it, and also the volunteer who looked at the data presentation. All of these things are using inherent skills. So using that. Communication is key as well, keeping us all informed about what's happening. Sometimes we can't make various events. You go on holidays, we are volunteers, but I think keeping us all involved is great. And finally, keeping it going as well from our project. I think that commitment to keep it going. And so from that point, I was going to wrap up. I believe there's some opportunities later on to ask questions, but otherwise I'll hand over.
Thank you.
Thank you.